Earl Jones. I'm a partner at Liberation Capital. On behalf of myself, my co-chairs, Jim Matheson, Ron Whitfield, Chris McIntyre, Pete Tunnicliffe, David Goodtree, and all of the folks who were on the SWIM, Symposium for Water Innovation in Massachusetts, SWIM, steering committee. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on what we think will be a fun, instructive, and hopefully a little provocative day of discussion. I was told that the governor is running 10 minutes late, which is good because I had about 10 minutes too much material and I couldn't figure out how to shrink it down. So I appreciate the governor accommodating my schedule this morning. 4 things. Accelerating innovation to market. The best teams win. The flywheel's turning. And a mechanism to engage. Right? Those are the 4 things that I hope you walk away with today. So what do we mean and why are we here? Accelerating innovation to market. We're water industry professionals. Work in and around the water industry. Don't need to talk about the problems that we see in the water industry. I bet those of us who are PowerPoint people, we all have some PowerPoint somewhere that says 97% of the Earth's water is seawater, 3% is fresh. Most of the fresh water is in glaciers, and everybody's got that chart, right? We know that there are problems with water scarcity. We know that the demographics behind these problems, urbanization and industrialization and waterborne contaminants and diseases and healthcare-related water issues and infrastructure issues, we know those are not getting solved any faster. We've been talking about them for decades. Those problems persist. They're going to persist. We also know that these are not the best economic times, which means the money available to go fix those problems has never been smaller. Right? If we're going to solve these problems, if we're going to get at some of these really tough, intractable, persistent national, world, global security issues, global security, global health, these are major problems that we're dealing with. We're going to get at it, and we're going to have to do that with innovation. We're going to have to be smarter. We're going to have new technologies. We're going to have new processes. We are going to have to tackle this with innovation. And again, as water industry professionals, I think we all know that innovating in the water industry isn't the easiest thing to do, right? We let ourselves fall back on some ways of thinking about ourselves in the industry. We are a risk-averse industry, right? That somehow is justification for innovation can be slow, right? I don't get rewarded for taking risk, as if that's a justification for not letting new technologies and processes help us solve problems. We have to do better. We have to not just invent new technologies. I would even argue that our researchers and universities are doing a fantastic job of inventing new technologies. Getting those technologies to market's hard, right? It's really hard. We have to do better. We are blessed as folks who work in and around the water industry to be doing meaningful work. I think all of us could ever ask is that the things that we do in our lives that we spend our profession doing and our time and effort doing to be applied toward things that are meaningful. And I think we're fortunate that we're working in this industry. And I was talking with I don't know if Aaron is here from the Boston Globe yet, but we were chatting a little bit about what is SWIM all about. And my comment to her was, you are going to find passionate people. You're going to find folks that care about what they do in this industry. You're not going to find folks that are fence sitters when it comes to the water industry. Folks care, and so we're blessed to be working in an industry that allows us to do meaningful work. I also think that here in the Commonwealth, we have great athletes, right? Our universities, we have a fantastic government who gets it. We've got great industry, startups through large multinationals. And we have great financial institutions. We have good athletes in the Commonwealth. But I would argue that having good athletes doesn't win championships. The best teams win championships. And I would say that we have done a good job over the years at playing our positions. But to solve these problems, to innovate faster, we need to play better as a team. The best teams win. My position to you is I do believe that we have some momentum, that the flywheel is turning in this group of industry, academia, finance, government, coming together in better collaboration. So SWIM 2013 really started 2 years ago with Governor Patrick doing a trade mission to Israel. And it's sort of this is becoming a sea story where the fish keeps getting bigger. It's been told a lot of times of that trade mission. But it did spawn, the governor asking Secretary Sullivan, we've got to do better, right? We've got to do better at bringing the great institutions around the water industry that we have in the Commonwealth together to go solve this problem or help solve the problem of advancing innovation to market. Since then, we had a trade mission to Israel where we took 40 leaders from each of these 4 constituencies to go benchmark how Israel is coming together, a very vibrant, innovative water industry in Israel. What can we learn from that? That has spawned activity in government where Representative Dykema, Senator Eldridge, and Ken Kimmel, Commissioner Kimmel, the Mass CEC, all stepping up to say, how can government do things differently and better? We've seen industry step up, and we'll talk about some of this today, coming together in a thing we call the New England Water Innovation Network for how we can get test beds in the ground where we can accelerate referenceability of new water technology. We have a reverse delegation from Israel here today, where companies are coming, new firms are coming from Israel to look at how they can sell and partner, sell into and partner with Massachusetts firms. The flywheel's turning. The momentum of this group of us coming together is happening, and it's exciting. And then lastly, one of the things we will talk heavily about today is a mechanism with which we can all engage. What we don't have in the Commonwealth today is a cluster. We don't have an industry cluster. Now we have a clean energy cluster, we have biotech clusters, other places have water clusters. Ontario, Illinois, California, Ohio, Singapore, Israel. I would argue again that we have some of the best and brightest minds and institutions in the water industry here, but we haven't organized ourselves to be more effective. And it doesn't mean that we're going to be out, all of a sudden we're not going to compete. We will compete both for research dollars, students, jobs, technology, business, but through collaboration, rising tide lifts all boats. We can do better. And it's been demonstrated other places, and I think the time is now for us to do that. So, 4 points: accelerating innovation to market. That will be a big topic today. The best teams win. We need to come together and play together more strongly as a team. We have momentum, the flywheel's turning, and hopefully by the end of this, not only will we have a vehicle, an industry cluster that's forming, but I hope each of you decide to be leaders and participate in that cluster, both with your personal engagement and energy and with resources. So about this conference, again, we couldn't have been more excited putting this together, and I've got to give just a huge shout out and thank you to Northeastern University. Where's Hugh Courtney? Is Hugh in? Or he stepped out at the time. I wanted to thank him. But Hugh, Ron Whitfield, Ann, Mel, thank you all. We're in an outstanding facility. which Northeastern is graciously provided for us. And everything that's been done here from a budget perspective has been through Northeastern, so we thank you guys very, very much. In the room today, 180 people plus. This conference, I said sold out, but really registered out in 3 days, right? I mean, we were at wait list only in 3 days. And if that doesn't reflect the passion and commitment of this group, probably nothing does. We have over 120 firms represented in our 180 registrants. Large companies, small companies, academia, government. We have, as I said, the Israeli delegation here. We have foreign firms that have joined us. This is a very powerful and diverse group. One that I think will sets the table for some real productive dialogue and hopefully actions when we're done. We've got commitment. We've got commitment from business leaders, academic leaders, but it's importantly, it's going to be a real honor to have Governor Patrick and Secretary Sullivan talk with us this morning. They are not just, they're not passively engaged in this. This is important for all of the reasons that we talked about. So excited to have them here. What's going to happen today? So the conference is loosely organized around the following sort of structure. We're going to have a set of panel discussions. 4 panel discussions. We'll have some experts come in and we'll toss around some questions that I think are relevant to this topic of accelerating innovation in market, creating more growth capacity for innovation here in the Commonwealth, and how do we cluster and form better as a community. There's going to be working sessions, so you got to have each of you is going to be engaged in a dialogue and helping us collectively think through this. So we'll have 2 panel discussions followed by a working session. We have a set of keynotes, which I think are going to be just fantastic. Again, Governor Patrick and Secretary Sullivan will chat. We couldn't be more excited to have Gretchen McLean from Xylem here. For those of you who know Gretchen, you understand why we have that energy and excitement about her being here. So Gretchen, thank you. We'll hear from Per Sunneby, who will talk about the New England Water Innovation Network. We'll hear from Alicia Barton, who will talk a little bit about what's going on at Mass CEC. So really good agenda today. It's packed. So let me just go over a couple of housekeeping issues, and then it'd be my honor to introduce Secretary Sullivan. Is Rick here now, or is he out? He's waiting for the governor. Okay. And the governor continues to be late. Then I'll figure out how to fill more time. So a couple of housekeeping issues. First, actually, 2 other things about the conference that I forgot to mention. As far as the concept of the flywheel turning, one of the innovations, if you will, for the conference this year is the Headwaters Innovation Prize. This is something that we'll get to see today. We have spent the last handful of weeks canvassing the Commonwealth for those early stage ideas and ventures that offer some real exciting opportunities for innovation in water. We have narrowed that list of candidates down to 3. You'll get to hear from all 3 today, and in American Idol fashion, you'll get to vote on the winner. What we'll do is we have a Twitter opportunity for us to tweet, and it should be information at your table where you can tweet for the winner. I'm excited that this Headwaters Innovation Prize, hopefully it will be something that we will sustain over the years to really give visibility to some great work that's being done in early stage. Additionally, outside and just down the stairs that we walked in are, I think, 32 companies who are exhibiting today. They're doing tabletop exhibits, small to large, government, industry. talking about some of the exciting things that our companies here in the Commonwealth are doing. So during our networking and break time, I'd encourage you, please go down and spend some time with the teams down there. They're here. They're excited about what they do, and I think they're excited to communicate to you what they have going on. So that's Headwaters Innovation, and then it's our exhibit. We have a tight schedule today, so I would ask you, please do try to be respectful of the schedule, back in seats so that we can start our various presentations and panels promptly. And the last thing is cell phones. If you could, just be respectful to our presenters and keep your cell phones on silent. Okay. So this would be a perfect time to introduce Rick, if Rick was ready. Is it on the information at the table? So again, when to get the Twitter information out to you so that you knew where to. On the back of your program. Yep.
Now you're in a box, David. SWIMASS.
Sure. Okay, so please, this would be a good time to sort of program your Twitter, and I'm certainly glad David did that and not me. So again, while we're waiting for the governor to show up, again, this concept of, hey, the flywheel's turning. If we're going to come together and form an industry cluster, we're going to have the commitment and resources to go do that. And last night we had a small and I'd say relatively intimate dinner of about 40 folks, senior leaders from your organizations, gathered again, hosted by Northeastern graciously, talking about this very thing. And it was very exciting coming out of the dinner last night because I think it was a resoundingly clear message of we're in. We're in with our resources, we're in with our commitment, and we're in with the governor in 5 minutes, is what I'm told. But it was a great dinner last night, and I think for those of us that were there, sort of take a lot of energy coming out of that this really could be a very seminal time for the water industry here in the Commonwealth to come together, organize, and collaborate. So anyway, so that was an exciting dinner last night, and working on the momentum from that. So our panels today, what you'll find with our panel discussions is that they're going to be loosely organized around this idea of our four major constituencies: industry, academia, government, and finance. And we're really going to have some panel discussions focused around how can these groups engage better, how can we collaborate better, what are some of the roadblocks to more successful collaboration and innovation, how can we innovate locally and take that innovation global. And then in our last panel, I think it might actually be maybe the most interesting, at least I'm going to bill it that way so that I hope you all stay for the last panel. But I think it's going to be a great session. We're going to have some folks who are on the trade mission to Israel talk about what they learned. And the trade mission to Israel, I think, was an eye-opener for a lot of folks, not just because of all the productivity that the water sector has in Israel, but just how well these four groups participate and collaborate together to drive this innovation. So to the extent that you're able to stay the whole day, I hope you can. That last panel, I think, will be a lot of fun. And as I mentioned before, we're going to have working group sessions today. So at each of the tables, we'll have a group facilitator, and during one of our networking breaks, we'll set out a set of questions for each of the tables. And then during our working sessions, we'll ask you to participate and kick around those questions collectively. And what we hope to do with that is, when we're done, our commitment to you is the organizing team will try to synthesize the collective discussions from the groups and put that back into a report that will give you some information about what we talked about here internally. So that's the day. I think it's going to be a good one. Could you read that Twitter tag again?
There's also Wi-Fi pop-up.
Yeah, I'm all out of housekeeping things to talk about. Yeah. So I do appreciate everyone's patience because, we are, again, extraordinarily happy that the governor's taking time out of his day to come here. But, when you're the governor, you're the governor. We work around his schedule. So thank you for being patient. Tell some water jokes. That is a fast way to get in trouble, Pear, and I don't thank you at all for asking me to do that. Say again? So, all right. So we'll. Why don't we use this time, maybe at your tables, given that we're going to be together and doing some working group talks. Get to know each other at the table. When the governor comes in, we'll reconvene. Thank you.